You know what? Idioms can help us in two ways. First, it can make us sound better. We're going to sound better if we use idioms, and naturally, our English will be a step higher when we use idioms. So we don't want to be speaking that boring, plain, monotonous English anymore. We want to be speaking very good, attractive and engaging English, and that's why we learn idioms. And the second thing is that it can help us understand English. Sometimes people use idioms when they speak, and what happens if you don't know the meaning? You might find it really difficult to understand those people, those who use idioms. For example, I say, I'm at sea. It doesn't mean that I'm actually at sea or I'm in sea. It doesn't mean that. What does it mean? It means that I'm clueless, I've no idea what's happening, or I'm confused. So, if we don't know the idiom, we are basically at sea. Got it? So, idioms are very useful. And as I said, it can make us sound a lot better. We are going to sound a lot better when we use idioms. And the first step towards that is using idioms on a regular basis. And that's why I have 12 idioms to share with you today that you can use on a daily basis in your day-to-day conversations. Very important idioms. Without further ado, let's get down to business. Let's look at those 12 idioms that we can use on a regular basis. But before we get down to that, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, why don't you subscribe and press that bell icon so that you will be notified when we upload our next lessons. So, the first idiom of the day is under the weather. Under the weather, which means you're not feeling quite well, kind of sick. You're not very sick, but you're kind of sick or slightly ill. Feeling under the weather. To give you an example, I'm not going to work today as I'm feeling a bit under the weather. John is feeling a bit under the weather, so he's not going to office. So a bit under the weather, or feeling under the weather. You can say I'm a bit under the weather, or I'm feeling under the weather, or a bit under the weather. So if you are slightly sick, don't say I'm slightly sick. Make it idiomatic, make it interesting. I'm feeling a bit under the weather today. Next one, round the corner. This is a very important one. All of us must know this. Round the corner, which means very near. For example, Jack lives round the corner, which means Jack lives very near, not far away from here. Jack lives round the corner. Or there is a very good restaurant just round the corner. So there is a very good restaurant near this or near us. There is a very good restaurant just round the corner. Next one, once in a blue moon. Once in a blue moon means not very often. By the way, often is one of those English words that can be pronounced in two ways. There are many words in English language which can be pronounced in two or more ways, and one of them is often. Often can also be pronounced often. So I often say often. Now, let's get back to the point. Once in a blue moon, which means not very often or very rarely. For example, I visit my grandma once in a blue moon. I visit my grandma once in a blue moon. I go out with him once in a blue moon. So I don't go out with him often, or I rarely go out with him. I go out with him once in a blue moon. Moving on, hit the sack or hit the hay, which means to go to bed, to sleep. For example, I have to go early tomorrow, so I have to hit the hay now. I have to hit the hay or I have to hit the sack now. So hit the sack means to go to bed, to sleep. Next one, a piece of cake. A piece of cake is something that is very easy to do. For example, speaking English is a piece of cake for me, but speaking German is not a piece of cake. It's not a piece of cake. It's not that easy, I mean. So a piece of cake is something that is very easy. Next one, spill the beans. Spill the beans means to reveal a secret. For example, Roy spilled the beans and everyone knows everything about the party now, which means Roy actually revealed the secret about the party, and everyone knows everything about the party now. So Roy spilled the beans and everyone knows everything about the party now. Next one, go the extra mile. Go the extra miles means take that extra effort to do something. So if you want to speak English fluently, you must go the extra mile and start learning idioms. If you want to speak English fluently, you must go the extra mile and start learning idioms. Next one, get butterflies in your stomach. First thing is that it is not stomach, it is stomach. Pronunciation, stomach, not stomach. So have butterflies in your stomach or get butterflies in your stomach, which means you are nervous. For example, I get butterflies when I go to stage and speak to a lot of people. So which means I am nervous when I go to stage and speak. Actually, I'm not that nervous. I don't get that many butterflies when I go to stage and speak. And sometimes people get butterflies in their stomach when they speak English. So learn English, improve your English. Naturally, all those butterflies will fly away and you won't have any butterflies in your stomach when you speak English. Butterflies can fly. What about pigs? Can they fly? Our next idiom is when pigs fly. If you say that something will happen when pigs fly, you think that it is highly unlikely to happen, or you think that it will never happen. For example, she will speak Japanese when pigs fly. She will speak Japanese when pigs fly, which means you think that it is highly unlikely to happen, or she will never ever speak Japanese. Moving on, miss the boat. If you miss the boat, you miss an opportunity. We had tickets available last week, but we missed the boat. We had tickets available last week, but we missed the boat, which means we lost the opportunity. Tickets are not available anymore, or they are no more available. Missed the boat. Next one, it's now or never, which means that's the only opportunity to do something. Or you might not get any other chance, or one more chance to do this. For example, it's now or never. Let's do it. It's now or never, let's do it. So you might not get any other chance to do it. This is the only chance, or this is the only opportunity to do it. It's now or never. Let's do it. Final one in today's list, pull yourself together. Pull yourself together means calm down or control your emotions. For example, we have to pull ourselves together and get the job done, which means we have to calm down. We have to calm down and we have to control our emotions to get the job done. So pull ourselves together. Let's pull ourselves together and let the job get done. So those are the 12 idioms, and the very important thing about all these 12 idioms, actually I spent a lot of time picking these idioms. The reason is that actually these are idioms that we can use on a daily basis. These are not something that you come across very rarely, or I can say these are not situations that you come across once in a blue moon, but these are everyday stuff, everyday idioms. So you must start using them today so that you are going to sound a lot better and your English is going to be a notch higher with these idioms. So start using them today. And before we leave, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, why don't you subscribe and press that bell icon? And if you have any questions or comments, please do share them in the comment box right there. And very important, if you like the video, please do like it. And if you think that it is going to be useful for someone else, please do share with them as well. With that, peace.